Hey, data streamer.
Hey, Gio.
I was thinking about something.
Hmm.
From body enhancements to brain chips. When does augmentation improve life? And when does it strip away humanity?
Mm, yeah,
So the first thing that comes to my mind when I ask when it strips away humanity is the idea that when, for example, if you plan a neural link in your brain, that you are not able to think yourself anymore.
yeah,
That's that's what comes to my mind. So that you are controlled by something else.
yeah. That's I've seen people say that. It's really hard to say if that is the case because there is literally no research on that.
You mean
It's
that if that's going to happen, literally?
yeah, yeah. The idea that it will change how you do things or whatever. Up to now, it's purely theoretical. There's no
Yeah,
there is no one with Neuralink at that level yet. We do have what we do have. Look, the company did show that one guy who had it, who has it, and he said it changed his life. But this was more like a low version of it, where it allowed him to interface with a computer and control a computer. You know, he could type and just use a computer.
so
You know,
currently it's more outward, right? You have output from the
yeah,
Neuralink.
yeah.
The Neuralink doesn't provide you input.
Yeah, as far as I understand, there's no input indeed. There's this. It's not like sending you things to your brain directly or anything like that. You're just sending commands out to the computer you're connected to, and it's like you can move the mouse and stuff. You can start typing that kind of stuff just
Yeah,
by
pretty
thinking about
efficient.
it.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. The guy did they showed a video. They interviewed the guy, and he was, I think he was playing a video game as well. But yeah, the guy said it was life changing for him, and he can't go back to anything else anymore. But yeah,
So
that's what it is now. It's just a interface. It's like a keyboard, you know. So there's
yeah,
it's not doing
but
anything.
yeah, in one of our other episodes, we talked about I think an anime where they also have a form of Neuralink where they do get input from because they were able to talk with that type of Neuralink with their AI,
Yeah.
right? So I think if we come that far, and I think it in a way it's inevitable, right? Inevitable, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, we're definitely having the two-way communication is going to happen. Right now, it's just one
yeah,
way. It's from our brain to the output, but the other way around is going to happen
yeah,
100%, and that is the goal as well. The goal is to get computer input into our brains and like somehow trigger, like for example, your imaging sector to like, for example, project a screen in space without needing to use VR headset, you know.
yeah. But
So
then if you are talking with an AI and you get certain specific input from that AI,
yeah,
in that way they can influence you. And I
possibly,
think on that, I mean,
possibly.
if it already happened with ChatGPT, right? People already had a psychosis, the first signs of a cyber psychosis.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
You know, the funny thing
but
about
yeah,
social media, funny thing about social media is that people somehow um have no more worry or shame about posting whatever. So
yeah,
now people are literally posting their most idiotic things in the hope of getting clicks. So when you talk about like the cyber psychosis thing with the AI, people are literally posting how AI is screwing them over. I saw yesterday some guy post about how he was talking to Grok. You know, Grok has the new Ani AI
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
So the like the companion AI. This guy was posting about how Annie dumped him or some shit. He was like, yeah,
Nice.
she stopped talking to me, she doesn't want anything to do with me anymore, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh my, these people, what are you doing? Like, you actually got the AI to hate you? What is this? What are you posting? I mean, it could also be rage bait. You never know these days with it.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is the funny thing. People are just posting their like technology failures online, and so it's like, it's interesting to see how people are reacting and how people are using these things. And it's, yeah, indeed, if this was connected directly to our brain, it would be much worse.
Yeah, and especially in a way, if we talk about ethics and specifically the case of Neuralink, so owned by a company, we talked about this in the last episode about Visa or big corpos
Yeah,
being able to influence on what you purchase
yeah,
or what you offer as a company
yeah,
uh, to your audience.
yeah,
So in
exactly.
this case, I think it's a valid worry of
Yeah,
humans
yeah, because
and a valid
like,
question because yeah, they can, the possibility is there that they can influence the input of what you have in your Neuralink.
yeah. So like, look at it like a marketing company. It would be amazing if they could like program their ad in such a way, they put a thing in their ad that would trigger your neural link or your interface to trigger a behavioral response to make you buy the thing. You know what I mean? So let's say there's like hidden code in the ad that activates the software inside your interface, that kind of stuff, and then somehow the interface makes you think you thought of the idea to buy the product. It's not that it's like it turns you into a robot and you suddenly like you can't control yourself or you're walking towards the store to buy it.
Yeah.
No, it's more like you see the ad, and normally you wouldn't be interested in that type of product, but suddenly you're like, hey, I want to buy that, that looks pretty good. That kind of stuff, that's like a worry people have, that it's like changing behavior by, because it's like literally inside your head, and they could like trigger behavioral changes in that way. But it's an interesting concern. I also saw that there were some like 20 or 30, maybe even 50 years ago, there was this Spanish scientist who made experiments on controlling animals with electrodes in their brains that were successful. So they just hooked up horses and cows to like control interfaces, and they could like literally steer them around through the neural inputs in their heads.
Was he able to? Did that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
succeeded?
It worked. Yeah, it worked. But the
Oh,
the thing was that what they I forgot the name of the guy, but it's a fairly known, well known experiment. But the thing is that the guy was shut down for ethics reason and all that stuff. But the 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 people said that they had the idea that the animals did not think somebody was controlling them. If the drivers turned left and the animal walked left, uh, the people said it looked like the animal thought it decided itself to turn left. You know what I
but
mean?
that's even scarier, right?
Yeah. So it's like you even so there's this idea that if you have the device, you wouldn't even know if the device is telling you to do something, because it feels like it's you who are thinking about doing the thing. That's that's the main concern. Well, at least one of the main concerns people have with this is like, where is the line between the device just sending you info so that you can project a screen on your in your head, and you can see like literally a physical screen floating in the air without having to use a VR headset or any kind of headset, because the projection is happening inside your head and it uses your visual cortex to display it. That's cool. but where does that stop? And then like the whole behavioral thing happen where it's like, also changing your behavior to fit something. That's a big question, and that one is unanswered. There's literally no answer, because
No.
we don't have the technology to answer it. We don't know.
Yeah.
It's impossible
But
to know.
people are aware.
Well, at least
People are aware about this, right? I mean,
people who
I
are
think
aware, who are in the scene, know about this. I mean, my in-laws don't know shit, like whatever. But the people in the scene, yeah, they are aware that this could be an issue. This idea of where does the interface stop and where does the human begin, which is funny because this is literally the whole Ghost in the Shell thing. Motoko Kusanagi was wondering, where does herself stop and where does the cybernetic brain begin, or vice versa. It's literally one of the most fundamental cyberpunk ideas or questions out there, because as soon as you start, that as soon as you start, replacing human parts, where does the human stop and where does the cybernetics begin? And we're not talking about like the actual what you can see. Like, I mean, if I chop off my arm and replace it with a metal arm, you can see, yeah, of course, that's a metal arm. You see, but this is more like a philosophical, behavioral idea. Where does the behavior change your head, your mind, and the way you think? That's a whole thing. And then it Eastern philosophy is a bit more like, what do you call it? It's a bit more lenient on this, uh, because while Ghost in the Shell, Motoko Kusanagi asked this in the movie, the ultimate answer to the question was just to embrace the technology, embrace the change, embrace the
yeah,
unknown, embrace the metamorphosis of the technology. Because, of course, Buddhism is about metamorphosis. It's about transcending, and it's about like, not letting the body and the physical plane influence your mind, and having clear minds. And you need to reach nirvana, and get out of the physical, and the body. So that's why you see that in Eastern cyberpunk, when they tackle these subjects, the answer usually is embrace the technology, embrace change, embrace the metamorphosis and the transcendence. While in Western cyberpunk, you see that, because of Christian doctrine, where the body is created by God, and you can't temper with a, or tamper with a, the divine. Tampering with the body is tampering with the divine. You're not allowed to. So, adding cybernetics and all kind of stuff is actually, a sin. So, it drives people mad. So you get cyberpsychosis and all this stuff in Western cyberpunk media. This is also a thing that was like holding people back with medical science, for example. People were not allowed to cut into the body, to research, only with like criminals. They could only use criminals to do medical research with. So that was a whole thing in the Middle Ages. That's why medical science, like during the Greeks, medical science advanced a lot. And then suddenly it stopped because the Middle Ages Christianity took over. So the body became sacred. The body became a temple of God and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. So you can't tamper with the body. You can't do things, blah, 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 blah. I mean, now we stopped doing that, because of the Enlightenment. Christianity got his ass kind of beat in the West, and it's been in decline ever since. But still, that's the cultural background of the entire idea, the West versus the East. That's why you see how it manifests in those two types of cyberpunks.
yeah. And the thing is, but especially in Japanese cyberpunk media, they always make it look so cool, right?
Oh yeah, because, of course, it's, they're embracing it. It's like
Yeah.
this awesome thing. The Western side makes it doesn't really make it look cool. It makes it look sinister. You know,
Yeah.
like Blade Runner. Blade Runner is sinister. It's like creeping up on you. It's like in the alleys. It's like whatever, you know, that kind of stuff. And the same with Cyberpunk 2077. It's a Western cyberpunk product, so it's like creeping up on you. It's like in the alleys. It's like in the illegal.
Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny is literally, you know, taking over your
Yeah.
mind and, like, you know,
Yeah.
getting up into you. And it's like it's
Hating.
yeah, and it's this like what do you call it, like this creeping death coming over you, coming out at you, you know. And it's funny because I'm thinking about it. It's like it goes to the shell. When you look at standalone complex, it's like just a normal city. Nothing is happening there. People are just like living their lives normally. Nothing is, but it's complete cyberpunk. But it's like, yeah, it's just whatever. It's pretty funny. It's really funny to see the differences in the both in both the medias. You know, the only like kind of Japanese cyberpunk story that I am aware of that has this creeping thing is Tetsuo and Tetsuo 2 the Body Hammer. Those movies. That's like the guy is like completely metamorphosizing into like this crazy ass cybernetic organism thing. Is kind of crazy, but you should check those others. They're insane movies, but those are the only two that have a more, even though they are Japanese, they have a more Western feel to them because they're like um uh, uh, because of the whole idea of the body being modified is kind of bad. That's that kind of thing. So that's kind of in the Tetsuo movies, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, and Akira also has, but Akira's different because Akira is more commentary on the failings of the post World War II Japanese government. It's not really like commentary on cyberpunk philosophies or technologies or whatever. I mean, Akira doesn't even have cybernetics. The only cybernetic Akira has is with Tetsuo loses an arm and he kind of like fabricates a metal arm out of thin air. But the humans don't have that technology. That's just Tetsuo that did something crazy with his arm. You know, Akira doesn't
Yeah.
have hacking, doesn't have computer, whatever, doesn't have like all this stuff, no cybernetics, no nothing. So it's like it's not really like your normal cyberpunk, you know. So it's like so it's kind of Akira's kind of outside of this entire conversation because it's not even tackling that kind of stuff. It's a completely political movie about politics, post World War II Japanese politics. That's what Akira's about, you know. It's like completely something else.
Yeah.
They did sprinkle in some transcendence thing with it with Tetsuo and how he like ended up joining Akira and all this stuff and moving away, blah blah. That's a but it's not really about that, you know. It's not really yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I do prefer what would happen. What will happen if we embrace the technology like in Japanese cyberpunk media?
Yep.
Uh, but the thing is, I would love to embrace it, but yeah, Neuralink's boss is Elon Musk,
Yeah.
and yeah, trusting him nowadays, I'm not sure about that. That's my point being then
Yeah. That's always the
knowing, yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's also the other part of the cyberpunk stuff. The corpos aren't to be trusted. That's that. Both Japanese and Western cyberpunk have the same thing. Corpos, don't trust them. That's literally both sides. They both have it. So it's like, you know, yeah. I mean, the problem is these kinds of technologies cannot be developed by like small companies. They can't. There's no way. Maybe some small company can develop a part of it, but like if we're talking about like Cyberpunk 2077 level stuff, there's no way a small company will be able to do it. There's too much. There's too much stuff here. Unless there's like a company that develops some kind of general interface thing that they can license, and so even then, it's still gonna be a massive company. So no, we are kind of stuck with having massive corpos develop this kind of technology if we want to have this kind of technology in the future. And yeah, will you trust those companies? No, not really. We don't trust them now. So like, why will we suddenly trust them if they start implanting stuff in our heads? You know, like that's even further from the thing. You know. That's the main issue, you know.
Yeah. So how would we? How would? How can this be solved then? This worry about Neuralink. I mean, people already put the Neuralink in them, trusting those companies.
I mean,
What
experiments, of
happened to
course.
them? Yeah.
Nothing. But like we said earlier, the it's mostly like output. There's nothing coming in, so it's like just it's like a keyboard,
Yeah, but as a first step. But
as a
like,
first
yeah,
step. Yeah,
as you mentioned, we already don't trust these companies. Sure, they have a lot of money and power.
yeah,
So
yeah. I
what
mean,
would people be thinking if they evolved the Neuralink to be able to provide them yeah, input into their brains?
yeah. I really it's really difficult to say because it's like we don't have the technology, so we don't know uh, how that will happen. But like, let's take for example the internet, how it evolved in the last 20 years. I remember when I first got on the internet in like 1995 or so, 1996. Everybody was telling you, don't put your real name there, don't do anything there, just make up a fake name, whatever, because you don't know who's watching, you don't know who's there. Good. I still do that. I don't have my real name anywhere. You can't even find me on my real name. If you Google my real name, you all you find is a LinkedIn profile. That's it. I made sure I don't put my real name. I don't even have my real name in like
Okay, but
Amazon or
yeah,
ball.com or like I
how
have like
how how how, how do you do that then if you want to order something?
I just order it. It comes whatever. Who cares? I just order it. You know,
Oh,
whatever. What do you mean?
I mean, but if you have to pick it up at the post office
They
because you were
ask.
not home.
They just ask for an address.
Oh,
They ask for an address, and then I show them, and then they're like, "You got ID? Here's my ID. Okay, go. Thanks. Bye bye." Whatever. It's not even my name on there. Who cares? You know, I've done it a million times. I've never. I've never do these things. I don't have my real name anywhere except for like official things. My bank has my real name. LinkedIn has my
yeah,
real name, but I was looking for a job, so that's kind of needed. I, not even Facebook has my real name. Nowhere has my real name. Not even YouTube has my real name. Who else doesn't have my real name? I don't even know. I don't even know. Like there's a yeah, nothing has my real name. So like that's was like early internets. But then after a while, people like normies. But okay, double back a bit. That was everybody. Everybody had pseudonames. Nobody had real names online. Nobody blah 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 blah. Nobody talked about their real life as much. I mean, they would say something like, "Yeah, I'm from there," because I tell people I'm from the Netherlands. I may tell people I'm from Rotterdam, but that's it. Like nothing, nothing more crazy than that. Like and people are like, "Yeah, okay, Netherlands, who cares, whatever," and that's it. And then like and that would be the extent of it. Even back then, you would say where the city you lived in, you could people would say that, yeah, blah blah blah, whatever. Then social media came and Facebook, and then suddenly your mom is on Facebook, and it's
yeah,
like, oh well, your mom has her real name on there because your mom is a boomer, so like whatever, you know how it goes
yeah,
with boomers. So like, okay. And then like after a while, all these other normies got on Facebook and social media, and then they're like all using your real name. And I remember explicitly like around 2010, people were like kind of making fun of people with internet names. They were like, "Oh, you got a fake name on it." I'm like, yeah. What do you mean? I have why do you have your real name? I can literally find you, like online. I would literally freaking search. Sometimes I would like just for fun search colleagues, like just kind of search their names to see how you know diligent they are. Man, dude, you would find the crazy. I would find pictures of parties, people posting their pictures online with their names, and they're like drunken, all this stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's craziness. We would do that at work sometimes. I remember a bunch of colleagues got around, oh, do me next, you see. And then people would Google me. I was like, do me. And then people would Google me, let's see what we find. LinkedIn profile, that's it, nothing else. I'm like, haha, gotcha. And all the other guys are like drunk and shit, doing all this dumb stuff, and pictures all
yeah,
over the place. It's like, okay, yeah, good stuff, dudes.
yeah.
But so what
Yeah,
I'm getting at is that the mindset changed at the start, people were like, don't put your stuff, don't do the blah blah, don't put your real names. But now people just put their real names. They don't care. These days, people are like out there with their actual names. Even streamers don't even have. There's a bunch of streamers out there who don't even have. They have literally their actual first and last name. There you go. That's it. It's like, okay. So right now we think this way about Neuralink. In 20 years, I would be surprised if people still think like this. I would think people were like, oh, whatever. I have to. I want the floaty screen thing. I want to watch a video without having to put on a headset. I want to, I don't know, chat by just thinking about it instead of typing. You know that people will be just that's what's gonna happen in 20 years.
Sounds pretty dope. Yeah,
You know,
still sounds pretty dope.
the technology sounds great. The promise of the technology sounds great, but the other side is like, who knows? You know, whatever. Trusting the big
Awareness.
corpo, you know, all this
Yeah,
stuff.
I think we should all just be aware about this. And
Yeah.
yeah, if you are aware, dear listener
Ooh.
or viewer, please like and subscribe.
Yeah. I'm sure our viewers are very aware. You know, they're all very aware about all this stuff. But yeah,
prove it to us in the comments.
Yeah, exactly. Prove it in the comments. But yeah, it's like mindsets change, and I expect as soon as this technology appears, yeah, it's going to change, and people are just going to embrace it after a few years, and then these conversations will be just like, they'll literally be like, okay, boomer, and then move on.
Yeah.
They'll just
Which
boomer you.
version do you have? I updated my
Yeah.
chip already.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
But yeah, but that's our talk about specifically brain chips, the Neuralink.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main question was like from body enhancements as well. When would that strip away humanity? Sure, if you are full cyborg mode, right? But
yeah, but personally, I think body enhancements like cybernetics, arm. I don't think that will strip away humanity. I don't think people have associate that much with that stuff as well. Any because right now we have like legs, we have like paraplegics and whatever that have like
mostly
robot
so
legs.
mostly it's medical stuff.
Yeah,
like a pacemaker's actually also
yeah.
a body enhancement, right? So.
Yeah, so I don't expect like if you're running around with like a Winter Soldier robot arm. I don't think people.
But what
you know?
What if it makes you be able to run faster?
Yeah, even then, you'll just say, "Oh, you can run faster because you got these legs." Whatever. It's not gonna be like they're not gonna be doubting your humanity like they would when you have a brain interface. Because I think most people recognize that the human is inside the head and not in the arm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So replacing the arm or the hand, I don't expect it to be seen as such a big issue as adding chips inside the brain. You know what I mean? I don't expect that.
Yep.
Especially these days where like there's this one company that does these prosthetic arms, and they also made a deal with like Disney to like have like Iron Man arms and stuff like that, Hulk arms, whatever, Thanos arms, you know, that kind of stuff. And people buying these to, you know, instead of like the old clunky crappy prosthesis, they're buying these kind of like blinged up wow, boomer talk. These kind of like enhanced, you know, more aesthetic prosthetic arms, you know. That I noticed that there's a lot of that going around. That there's also like online people are like showing how they're like enhancing their own prosthetics that way, you know. So
pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. So I don't expect prosthetics to really impact how people think about humanity as much. It's mostly the brain stuff, you know.
Yeah, so that's the conclusion.
Yeah.
So what potentially strips away humanity is the moment everybody switches over to the brain implant.
Yeah, brain implants. I think those are really the main issues. with that, because if I lose a leg and I replace it with a robot leg, man, whatever. I mean, it's that happens a lot, and people still do it, and people are just fine still with you know
Yeah.
they don't think that person suddenly became another person or something like that, that that kind of stuff, you know.
And on that note, let us know what you think. What do you think about what body enhancement would strip away humanity?
Yeah.
If you agree with us or not.
Yes.
You can also have a discussion in our Discord. See the link below. And please like and subscribe for support. Thank you for listening and see you in the next video.
Bye bye.